How about that? Well, you got to kick the rust off some way. And tonight, the Dallas Stars did that in a winning effort. And isn't that exactly what you want to do? Luds had an interesting comment toward the end of the game that I'll share with you next. Stars win 3-1. This is the post-game show right here on DLS. Let's go. Bedard. Wow, how about that for a thumbnail? This is the DLLS Dallas Stars. Thank you for the rim shot. Actually, that's John giving himself his own rim shot. This is the there he is. DLS Dallas Stars post-game show, a victorious Stars game again at the AAC. 3-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks. Craig Ludwig, John Anderson, our producer. I'm Owen Newkirk. Sam Nestler will join us after the media scrums. He'll call in from the AAC. And think about this. The Stars have still not lost a game on home ice at American Airlines Center. Their home winning streak to start the season statistically ended because they were the home team on the first game of the Global Series with the Panthers. But at the AAC in front of their real home crowd, Luds, they haven't lost this yet.
Yeah, I didn't think that this was going to be a game with the schedule that the Chicago Blackhawks had coming in here and playing last night and traveling all this other kind of stuff, that I would say that Jake Oettinger had to be good tonight. He had to be better than I expected him to be. And, I mentioned to you, I said this may have been the perfect opponent and timing for Dallas to kind of blow some of the carbon out. And, again, I know they skated a couple times, but that's not like playing a game. And so, they made it through it. And that's the good news is there's not going to be a glowing review probably from the coaches and things like that. But I think what ultimately Pete's going to do is say, hey, we found a way to win the hockey game.
And he literally set this up yesterday at practice when he said, I don't expect this to be a pre-one. I expect some sloppiness in our game.
But it was funny because it was almost like an effort thing at times too. I'm comparing him against. Well, I didn't see them pulling away. I didn't see them winning a lot of as the game went along. Chicago got stronger, and Dallas kind of seemed like they were losing some steam, competition wise, and the puck battle. There were individual efforts I thought were good, but as a group that again facing the challenges that Chicago would have had, and Chicago has challenges to start with, and so I didn't expect the game to be this close, and I didn't, like I said earlier, Jake had to make some really good saves in this game.
Boy, did he. And we are going to chronicle those, including some in the second period on a sequence that was unreal. We'll get to that. The fact that they did get the victory, it's funny. I talked to 3 different guys in dressing room after morning's game. It was optional today, but I talked to Sam Steele. I had a good chat with him. Then I talked with Dodonov for a little while. And then I briefly, trying to remember the third one. Maybe I only talked to 2. Felt like 3. Anyway, both of them agreed that they felt it was harder to get on the time zone in Finland, and they felt it was easier to come back, which is the opposite of what Matt Duchene said leading up to the Global Series, which is he says it's harder to come back. You're mentally and physically off. But those 2 guys that I talked to both said they felt that coming home was easier, and they felt okay. They said it was really hard to get right in Finland. They, waking up at weird hours, wide awake at 3:30 in the morning.
I would imagine.
Couldn't go to sleep at a normal time because it's not the normal time. That was really a trick.
And there was nothing else normal about it, too. I mean, everything's kind of new for the guys, the food and everything that they were all doing. And you get home and it's familiarity. And regardless how tired you are, I think you can kind of slide. It's easier to slide back into your normal routine when you get back.
All right, let's break it down here. We start in the first period where we always do. And boy, Chicago didn't have any shots. They had an early chance actually, but about 4 minutes in the game, the Stars had the puck in the offensive zone, but they didn't do anything with it. And then all of a sudden, Jason Dickinson comes down, gets the shot. It's a good save by Oettinger. After that, it was all Dallas Stars for a while. And the high danger chance early belonged, actually the first two belonged to the captain, Jamie Benn. One-timer in the low slot. Great setup by who else? Logan Stankoven. Arvid Soderblom made the save. Nils Lundqvist looked better, like he almost heard Pete DeBoer in the press saying, we need to see you be more offensively relevant. They had a delayed penalty call. The only thing that Sam and I were sitting next to each other in the press box, it felt like Lundqvist was a little slow to recognize the space, and then he tried to take a slap shot, and the lane closed on the delayed call. I wanted him to jump into that space, attack it, get the puck, and then fire it quickly. I thought, Sam even said, because we could see it coming from the press level, he's going to get this wide open look, and he just doesn't quite seem like he's playing with that offensive confidence that a guy that's really scoring goals and is clicking plays with.
It almost seems like his first instinct is to defer.
Yeah,
like
that's
move it, and because again, look at who you're playing with, right? And so you got some superstars out on the ice, and I think that's his first instinct. But in the situation that he's in, what the coaches are asking, and there's nothing, because I'll tell you what, I even felt, just speaking of him not getting the puck up to the net right away, is there was a different mindset, especially from number 4 tonight. Now, I thought Miro was directing pucks at the net. I mean, he had a couple shots at net. He had 10 attempts that didn't hit the net. So there was a mindset there, and if Nils would have had that there, again, we can hindsight.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones where as a player, if you have the opportunity to get that with that much room, you have to be just drooling like, oh, here we go. If he's in form, that's a great shot because he gets it off his stick without thinking or hesitating or deferring.
That's it. It's about the thinking thing, looking for different options. And again, I think you have voices in your head and all the conversations that he's been in, and he doesn't want to make the wrong play. Think if he takes that shot and somebody he didn't look at was wide open. Seguin, Duchesne, somebody like that, and they're, hey, I'm wide open. So, like I said, he's just got things going on in his head, and he wants to just make sure he makes the right simple. His thing is get pucks to the net, defend well, move it to the next closest guy, change.
The funny thing is that there was a play in that first period, and I want to say, I'm trying to remember, I think it was Harley really early.
Right
no. It was Sam Steele, and he maybe it was Harley.
Harley had one right in front of the net.
There was one where
off to the right of the goaltender.
He was no, not that one. It was to the left circle, and Duchesne popped up around the right post.
Oh no, that was Harley, and
he shot it.
Duchesne wanted the pass,
and honestly, I said to Sam at the time, I'm glad he took that shot because it was fine. And Sam went, oh, but he had the back. Say, but you don't know if that pass is going to get through. And I don't even think he saw Duchesne come around on that play.
Yeah, and Matt, you could see Matt kind of go right at the end of the play, kind of like I'm wide open.
It would have been a tap-in if he gets it through.
And he comes out and he finds that soft little quiet area. The goaltender's way over to his right, and Duchesne's on the back door. I remember the play, but you know what? I don't want to say it was Harley. Harley took a shot. It could have been Steele.
I think it was Steele, and I think it was. I don't have it written down that way. I thought it was
maybe somebody will chit chat in.
Get us in the chat. We'll check it when we get to the third segment. But look, even that, I want to highlight one more thing before we get to the first goal. Esa Lindell with an unbelievably perfect back check on Connor Bedard, stick check. If it's any higher, he gets called for that little ticky-tack slash or hook, but he gets it right in the middle of the stick. I wanted to say mid-shaft. That just seemed unnecessarily dirty. But, yeah, I know. I was waiting for you to chime in. I'm surprised you didn't. I mean, this is our...
I don't think like that.
That's not true at all. You're totally lying, but that's okay. The play that Lindell made to not get penalized and not give up a scoring chance on a otherwise Bedard breakaway, I thought was fantastic.
You know where I go back to? I go back to Finland, and I think about Miro reaching over the back of Rodriguez on that
wrong way.
On the wrong way. He went to the wrong side. And I had said when we broke that down is you have to wait. You have to wait and see and then kind of react off of the shot on that one that Miro had. And that's exactly what Miro did. Is he comes down. Miro knew what he was going to do. He knew what he was going to do. He pretty much knew what Bedard was going to try to do. You're talking
about Esa this time.
I mean, sorry.
Yep.
Esa. And because when Bedard comes down, he's right-handed. So he's going to try that little move somehow and get to his forehand, use that shot of his, and he tries it, and Miro's just waiting. And as soon as Jesus. Esa. But Lindell. When Lindell...
I want him, and I think he did it on purpose, like you're saying. I want him to force Bedard to have to take that on his backhand or get tied up.
Yeah, but he didn't have enough room to Essa didn't have he wasn't close enough to force him to stay on his backhand. He was far enough behind him that he knew that he could get that middle of the ice, and when he does, he just comes underneath and he lifts the stick, and you kind of wait, and as soon as you can see him start load up, you just kind of tap his stick up and lift it up, and that's why he fanned on the shot.
Jamie Benn right after that had a high danger chance, low left slot. Again, he was open. He was kind of, it wasn't a drive-by, but he was kind of slashing through the slot, gets the puck. Soderblom made a good save. That's twice on the captain. But then Sam Steele, right place, right time, gets a wrister in the slot on the right side, goes high blocker, and just picks it. So Steele second of the year. Stankoven, of course, gets his 10th assist. Lindell picks up helper. 11:06 is the time of the goal. Did you think that Soderblom saw that off the stick?
That's what I was saying to John when we were taking a look at it. We kind of broke it down a little bit, but to me, it starts with Stankoven. He did all the work on the wall. There's 2 Chicago Blackhawks around there. He finds a way to dig that puck out and get it out. And then there was just a little bump right there to Steele. And it was like a mentality. It's kind of like, Steele's been down there on that fourth line, right? They have the shot mentality when they get in a certain area. He got the puck on his forehand. He got it right to the net. There's a defenseman there. And, it goes through the arms of Soderblom. So I can't really tell if he had a good look at it or if it was one of them where he's trying to stretch out, get the puck with his blocker, and somehow it just kind of flutters in between his arm and his body.
But, hey, the guy that gets elevated because of an injury gets a goal, and he had a whole pile of chances. Sam Steele ended up with 5 scoring chances tonight. I think he had 4 shots. I think he had 1, 2. He had 3 in the first period alone. He was one of the best stars in the first period. They did have one quality chance, high danger chance. Chicago. It was late in the period. Phil Kurashev. It was almost a 2-on-1, and he came down the right side and kept coming from the dot in. And he got a really close shot on Jake Oettinger. But Oettinger, it looked like he trusted that the passing lane was blocked.
I think that was Nils. That was back on that 2-on-1.
I'd have to look at it, but you might be right.
I think it was, because I remember the play. And I thought he played it well. Once he got across the top of the circle,
Jake didn't look like he was cheating.
No, and Nils was going to make sure he took the pass away on that particular play, and so Jake trusted that and came out and challenged us.
So I had 16. Shots were 16-5 in the first period. Stars 33-11 shot attempts. That's a 3-1 edge. I had 13-5 scoring chances. I had 3-1 high danger chances, all for Dallas. Was it a bit unfortunate that it wasn't more than 1-0? Or is that about right?
I think you got to give credit to the goaltender from, on the other team. He did his job, and, you go in there and you kind of know the situation. You got to be sharp when you get in there. There's going to be some shots that are coming, and you hope that your guys in front of you can kind of limit them, and that didn't happen. And so the goaltender did his job. And for the Stars, I thought that's what they needed to do, is come out and just start pressuring right away and hopefully get a goal or 2 early and find a way to make that team quit, which they didn't.
Well, the first 10 minutes of the second period, the Blackhawks looked like the team that had played a game last night and traveled, and the Stars had 2 long offensive zone attack shifts. One was, I think, close to 2 minutes, and one was almost at 3 minutes. They had I'm trying to remember the pairing now. I could just look at it. It was the Murphy-Vlasic pair. Were out for almost 3 minutes. They had a couple icings in there, couldn't get off the ice. But they didn't score in the first 9 minutes or so. A couple of chances, but for all that zone time, Luds, no real high danger.
I was going to say there weren't quality chances there. And again, they know. Sometimes I think when you got guys tired and everything that they're in, is you try to make a better play. And the better play sometimes is just, get it to the net, make a pass or 2 and get it to the net, and then try to find that rebound, and especially when they're tired. And, but again, second periods for the teams, it's a long change, and so it's tough to get off sometimes. And like you said, when there's an icing, you're not coming off anyways.
Luddy just said you need to go to the net, maybe get a rebound. What'd I tell you? Well, guess what? The second goal, Sam Steele goes for a stuff shot, misses it wide. It falls to Tyler Seguin, and he scores from a ridiculous angle. I mean, he's basically standing on the goal line extended of the left post, and he roofs it short side high over the blocker of Soderblom from an angle that most people wouldn't even try.
See, we thought that hit the goaltender in the shoulder.
Did you?
Yeah, and the reason I thought of it was the same play he used on his last goal, right? Mm-hmm. That one he was actually down below the goal line.
Banked it in.
Yeah, it looked like when he shot it, that it went off. It went off something. It looked like it hit something and went in there, and I thought he did it again.
His 6th goal, Lundqvist gets his first assist of the season. He needs that in a big way.
Well, he was up on the rush.
Yep.
I mean, he was part of that. He was up on the rush, and he ends up down behind the net.
He was more noticeable tonight than he's been in a while offensively.
Yeah.
Not defense. And actually, he was pretty good. Like we said, we had some good defensive plays. Steele gets an assist, so 2 points in the first 2 periods for Sam Steele, and that's at 10:15. And we're halfway through the game. Stars up 2-0, dominating Chicago. Wasn't that way the whole thing? We'll get to that next year on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
You know what time it is?
It's got to be
this time right here.
Not the water.
Herman
not
Marshall.
The Coke. This.
Yeah, that stuff. Founded in 2010, Herman Marshall, Dallas County's first legal distillery since the repeal of Prohibition, honoring the founder's passion for creating good, smooth whiskey with lots of flavor. Today, Herman Marshall Whiskey aims to preserve the legacy of Herman Beckley and Marshall Lewis. Located in the historic downtown Wiley, Texas is proud partner with the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas on a single barrel expression of its signature straight bourbon whiskey. The Guns N' Hoses Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing immediate financial assistance to the families of fallen police officers and firefighters lost in the line of duty. They're built from the grain up. Family, fellowship, and friends. So, for every bottle of single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas for those who went before. Available at Goody Goody Liquors and other fine retailers.
Let's talk about Game Time. If you need tickets to a sporting event and you aren't a season ticket holder, guess what? You should go and download the Game Time app. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite live events, whether it's sports, music, theater, comedy, just that much easier. Well, Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You get curated deals to find the best prices on great seats. You have seat views before you buy in the app and the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, all the things that you need to make sure that you get the best viewing experience possible. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Luds, what time is it?
It's game time. Game time. That's John.
I like it. That was John. And John put himself on the screen so he could say it too.
Of course he does.
I love it. All right. So second period, halfway through, the Stars are winning. They're dominating in shots, chances. They have 2 goals. The next scoring chance that occurs in the game is a absolutely furious sequence with 3 high danger chances, 5 scoring chances together for the Chicago Blackhawks. Started with a misplay of the puck by Jake Oettinger behind his own net. Ryan Donato pounces on it and takes a snapshot. Otter gets back and makes a save. That's 1 high danger chance. Mikheyev gets a rebound stuff shot. Oettinger looks like it's no nonsense. This is a piece of cake. But it pops out to Vlasic, who takes a one-timer from inside the left circle. Otter makes that save. Vlasic gets the rebound, crashing that on his backhand, and somehow Oettinger gets a touch on it. They work it back to Connor Murphy, who pounds a one-timer from the point. Otter makes a glove save. To me, the 2 hardest saves, although the one on Donato was good, were those 2 on Vlasic.
Yeah, I mean, he's working on his, well, let's say, keep giving the puck away, Jake. I mean, you're working on that save percentage. So,
padding the stats.
Padding the stats against a team that's tired. So, again, I think when you think about Oettinger, we'll go back to his last game, which is in Finland, and all the time, and how was he going to be? And he was great. I said it right when we started this thing. Jake had to be a lot better than what I thought he would have needed to be. And on that sequence right there, he basically showed you what he can do regardless of what's happening in front of him.
Then we traded power plays. Stars had a couple of good chances, not high danger, but Hintz had a shot early. Jamie Benn. I thought the Dodonov one-timer was a great one, except for he missed the net near post. He was trying to pull it short side. Then the Hawks get a power play, and Otter makes some good saves on Bedard and Kurashev and Teravainen. Stankoven and Johnston sort of jumped into things at the end of the period, had a couple of chances. Again, no high danger ones, but the Stars have a 2-0 lead through 40 minutes of play. You know that Chicago is tired, but the start of the third period, it did not look that way at all.
They got a little rest when they went in, and I think they talked about it and said, listen, where we all talked about what this game was going to be like, here we are. we're a couple shots from being down, and let's just pour it all into what we can, and they did, and they got the jump in the third period.
What a save Jake made on Mikheyev.
See, that's what I mean. We're saying this too much.
And it's going to happen again later on Bertuzzi. We'll get to that one. But Craig Smith, former Dallas Star, took a shot from the right circle, and Mikheyev at the left side low slot, just off the crease, gets the rebound. Otter does the full splits, and the place gets on their feet in a hurry because that was, I mean, that should have been 2-1 right there.
That's the one that dropped right behind him?
That was the one
after
where
the shot?
You said he didn't think he had it, and he kind of fell on it. And
that's the one that fell behind him.
Blackwell that came in and helped. Somebody came in behind and kind of helped him, but he got enough of it.
The only reason I said that I didn't think he had it is because it was his reaction when he went across, and he just kind of was still. He didn't typically a goaltender, when they're not sure where it is, they kind of scramble around, but he just stayed there for a second. I thought he was listening for the crowd to hear if he heard like a goal sound, and then finally somebody found it.
Well, then the Stars take a penalty again as Dodonov was called for tripping at 8:05. And by the way, can I go back quickly to the second period? Wyatt Johnston's hooking minor at 6:52. The broadcast, I don't think, showed a replay, but they showed one when they made the call on the Jumbotron, the scoreboard at center ice. Hooking? I mean, it wasn't even the slash on the hands. It was like what Essa did to Bedard. It was a stick check. And I thought it was a really soft call.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see it during the broadcast.
And then you wouldn't have known to go back. Because the only reason we went back, Sam and I
can't go back on these TVs. If you do, you go back to the national anthem.
So we're watching on the laptop to watch replays, but we saw it on the scoreboard. And that's because they showed it. I went, oh, ew, there's nothing there. And then, but
you're kind of looking, is that really where it was?
And that was it.
Yeah.
But not a single shot on goal on that penalty kill for the Stars. They kept the Hawks on that one. However, in the third period on the Dodonov one, they do give up a goal, and it's Bertuzzi. I mean, this is just a beautiful redirection. 5th goal of the year for Tyler Bertuzzi from Bedard and Donato at 9 minutes even. The puck movement to set it up was pretty good as well.
Yeah, and Bertuzzi knows where he's earning a paycheck, right? I mean, he uses the big frame well, and if he's not screening the goaltender, which he normally is, he gets right on top of the crease. But he's got a pretty good set of hands on him too.
And do you remember the Donato pass? It's like it almost looked like he just hoped, but I think he saw Bedard. He took that backhand and whipped it from the right side boards across to Bedard, who then threw it in front for the redirection. I'm pretty sure that Donato knew what he was doing there. At least to an area.
Yeah. That's what I would say too. And you're trying to get it off as quick as you can. And
like maybe not going tape to tape, but he knows that Bedard's over there.
Yeah, and Bedard's pretty good hand-eyed and he can find the puck with his stick.
Well, Bertuzzi scores. It's 2-1. Then Jamie gets a backhander at the crease. Huge save from Soderblom. A high danger chance there. Stankoven got a second effort on a turnaround. Again, he's right there. Johnston, Robertson with chances on the next couple of shifts. So the Stars kind of wake up a little bit. But then Bertuzzi has a drive-by redirection from Teravainen. And how does Jake... This is another one. 2 in the third period. Just stand on your head kind of saves. It's a tie game, or they're losing if he doesn't make those 2 stops in the third.
Yeah, and, he knows. And you know what, though? I mean, I think he needs this game because of the next game that's coming up.
Oh, he does.
I would think that he'll be the guy on Saturday afternoon. And so I think that's in his mind, too, to have one of these games. I don't think he wanted to have only 10 shots tonight. He wanted to get back into the groove. And not that the guys in front of him were trying to help him out much, but they did in a way.
Well, they get down, and I thought it was interesting. Chicago, maybe because they're tired, maybe because the Stars weren't getting hemmed in, they didn't pull their goalie until really late.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to go 2 minutes or so. They waited till almost a minute, maybe, again, because they couldn't get set up. And then Stankoven scores an empty net goal from his own defensive blue line on a backhander. And then Razor goes, I think Logan should take more backhand shots. Like that, I get his point, but on that one, it's from what? It's 150 feet.
Well, that's a confident player. I said that earlier. It's a 1-goal game, and you're on your backhand, and there's a couple players that are around you, and you're doing it from inside your own zone, just by the blue line, and puts it right in the middle of the net almost.
Well, it's just his 2nd goal of the season, but it's his 12th point because he had his 10th.
He's
assist.
not measured in goals.
He isn't, right? But when he started his NHL career last year, mid-season or late season, he couldn't stop scoring goals.
Yeah.
But he's been it's funny. You said, I don't think he needs to play like he's a playmaker because there were a couple times where he deferred what he could have, tried to force a pass when he probably should have shot. Yeah. Yet he was a goal scorer when he first got up here. And now he's got 10 assists, leading the team in that category. I believe his competitor for the rookie scoring lead was healthy scratched today by John Tortorella, Michkov, which was interesting. We were laughing about that before the show. And so he's back on top of the rookie points lead.
When you played a comment before in the pregame from Pete DeBoer talking about Wyatt Johnston, right? You're not going to hear anything about Stankoven if he's not scoring goals right now. He does so many other things that they know that his goals will eventually start to come, and he may not get to 30 goals or whatever it's going to be, but everything he does is more important or as important as scoring goals until he scores an overtime goal or a game winner. But for the most part, he's a player you don't worry about pucks going in the net.
Ilya Lyubushkin actually got the second assist on the empty netter. Originally, they gave it to Wyatt. It's been changed. So it's Stankoven from Benn and Lyubushkin in the final minute, 1914. And that's it. Stars win 3-1. I thought Ilya Lyubushkin continues to do exactly what he's supposed to do, which is play within himself. He had a really good scoring chance in the game where he jumped into the play and sort of a one-time shovel shot and hit Soderblom in the shoulder. But look, I'm really impressed with him. We'll say this 100 times, playing within himself.
The defensemen tonight, I thought, were more involved and more apt to get more pucks to the net. And starting with Miro, like I said, he had 9-10 attempts, but there was a mindset that they were going to get pucks to the net, and they can do that more often because the more pucks that, if you don't have to look, if you see the lane right away and get it up there, now everybody knows that, and then they start to gravitate to that area. So, but we said in the beginning of the show here today that Lyubushkin, the reason he is what he is because he knows who he is. And so you're going to get that kind of a game with him. A lot of times when those guys are not noticed, they're doing their job. Same thing as Brendan Smith. We talk a lot about Nils, but Nils has got to do some other things, right? He's got the ability to skate, but Lyubushkin knows that he's a penalty killer. He's a guy that plays well in front of his net, and he needs to be physical when he can.
Your old coach, Ken Hitchcock's fingerprints are all over this franchise's history for good reason. He had a saying about it's not if you go into the ditch as a team, it's how quickly you dig yourself out of the ditch because you don't want to be in there and get these prolonged losing streaks. Those are when the season gets away from you, when the standings start pulling away and you're chasing that peloton. The Stars lose 2 games to the Florida Panthers in Finland. It's frustrating because otherwise it's a great trip and it's an experience of a lifetime for so many people. But the fact that even though, and you said this, and we'll repeat it if I don't even know if we bring it up at the start of the postgame show. My memory is going to like 3-4 minutes right now. But you said this could have been a disaster if it was a team that was fresh and maybe not the Chicago Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they found a way to dig themselves out and not make it a 3-game losing streak, which, by the way, under Pete DeBoer, the Stars have always been really good about not losing 3 games in a row. And they get, another home win. 3-1 on the road, 3-1 tonight, 8-4 in their first 12. When we talk about all these things, this has got to be cleaned up.
This guy's got to be better. This line, where's JP?
16 points in their first 12 games, so 16 out of 24. That's not half bad.
Yeah, because you're sitting there going, okay, we've played 12, 13 games right now, and we're going to continue to get better. And if we're finding ways to collect points and we're not playing our best, or we don't have everybody on board yet, there's still some players like Rupe and Robo. There's some guys here that still don't have their game where they would like it and the team would like it, but they know that that's probably going to be coming hopefully sooner than later. And if we're winning games this way, just imagine how we're going to be when we get a little bit further down the road. And it'd be nice to get those guys on track by Saturday afternoon, though.
I just turned on the chat. I have been avoiding it so far because we don't like distractions, especially Luds. Luddy can't. We need
this is a distraction
John,
right here.
We need it is. We need our all-city corporate overlords to come up with the no distractions Craig Ludwig shirt. Maybe it's with him in the Joker face. Maybe it's his cartoon, something. But we have to have.
When you guys direct all the T-shirt and marketing
I was
ideas
gonna say-
at me, you guys understand I have no say in that.
That's
stuff,
right.
right?
But you're here.
As if I'm supposed to pass it along.
You're here.
I'm the producer, so.
Well, if our
Here
GM,
are
Well,
our
yeah, I would say,
desires,
doesn't Ben
take
listen
them.
to all the
If
shows,
GM
and
Ben
shouldn't he
is
be
tuned
chirping in or chirping in,
we
whatever it's
need
called?
we have 3 right now. We need a 0 days since Joe Pavelski was mentioned.
He's apparently a little
Like that-
slow on
yeah,
that.
we're
All right,
asking
my
for too
face
much.
was covering where it's going to go.
So there's that. We need the damn Discord channel shirt of some design, and then we need the no distractions. And
like that.
look at Sam. Sam must be ready to go.
We love distractions.
We will get to Sam.
He's sending that because he's guys. Did you forget about me?
He hasn't connected yet, so.
Okay, well he hasn't. So that's okay. So we'll get to that. But should we do? Is he ready? Should we do the?
No, he hasn't connected.
Okay, so
I mean, we can break and maybe he'll be ready in
all
2
right.
minutes.
Look, we're gonna do in the next segment. We're gonna do the chat unless Sam gets there, and I'm gonna start looking. I see.
You make it sound like we're going somewhere. We're not going anywhere.
But we are.
we can do the chat.
We'll do that
after, so.
next.
But here we are.
And the first thing I have to tell you about is Empire Today, because you know why Letty's so happy? I have to do both of these reads, and he's thrilled. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low-price guarantee. Empire Today keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Their philosophy is that they need to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles. I love the idea of the virtual floor designer. Great way to see how new floors will look in any space. Just to snap a picture, and you can instantly see how new floors will look in your room. Shopping for floors at the big box store can be frustrating. All they do, Empire Today, is flooring. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when you use the promo code DLLS. It's right down there. When you use that code, restrictions apply. See empire.com/DLLS for details. Now let's switch it to Shady Rays. That's Craig Ludwig's favorite.
Here's my next shirt.
Get Lud's free Shady Rays for Luds. In fact, when they did the Mavs postgame show, DLS, yesterday, and they did a marathon trying to get to 10,000 YouTube subscribers, I actually joined the chat for a few minutes and said, I got only one thing to say. We need to get Luds some Shady Rays.
Oh, boy.
Shady Rays, and by the way, GM Ben saw that too. Shady Rays, an independent sunglasses company offering you world-class product. It's been rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Great crystal clear optics, durable frames, lost and stolen and broken protection. Great customer service. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for $35 off on your first pair or your next pair of polarized sunglasses. Shady Rays. All right. Is Sam here? Should we get him or should we go to the chat?
Sam texted us and said he can either join in 2 minutes or in the final segment.
Luds, I'll let you take the call. Do you want to talk to Sam or do you want to talk to our fans?
Oh, let's talk to the fans.
All right. Sorry, Sam. You got bumped. All right. Let's go to the chat. So do we have any super chats or are we just going from the beginning?
We are going raw.
Okay. So no super chats, although saying going raw seems a little uncomfortable.
That actually came up in the chat. We'll see if we get down to there.
All right. Well, let's see where we go through here. Interesting.
Oh, and Sam joined anyway.
Cam wrote in Connor Bedard. Do you think Connor Bedard was a dud performer tonight?
He looked tired. I mean, I'm sure he's tired, but he didn't look great, in my opinion.
Was there any truth to the rumor that I saw for the first time
all
in the chat,
rumors.
actually, that the Blackhawks got in at 1:30 a.m. to Dallas?
I mean, your good bud Troy Murray said it's a. I mean, 1:30. He said that's a 2-3 a.m. kind of arrival.
Yeah, but if you played that, what's wrong with 1:30 or 2? The only
Well,
bad news is the bars might not be
for
open.
people that don't sleep, it's no big deal. But these guys had to get their recovery. Take a nap. No morning skate. Sleep till lunch.
Not that big a deal.
Let's see. Ardell said power play goal should have salted this one sooner. Would you like to see the power play be a little more effective? I ended on the night.
You know what? I don't know. I thought they were at least trying to direct pucks to the net.
They had
more
four
often.
scoring chances on the power play.
Yeah, well,
in
we're
three.
spoiled around here, though, aren't we? I mean, we're still waiting for that power play from last year to start clicking. But remember, there's a different piece that's missing again.
Look, in the last 6 games, the Stars are 6 for 19. That's 31.6% on the power play, not counting tonight. They started the year 1 for 17, which is 5.9 in their first 5. I'd say they have improved.
You're on 30%. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're working on it. Like, it's not going to be good, everyone. Let's see. Adam says, Owen's shirt is nicely starched. I actually thought it looked a little wrinkly, and I ironed it too. This is one of those, you must have had one of these in your day where even when you freshly iron it, you wear it for 2 seconds and it shows all the like creases again. Or did you ever iron it?
Never.
You just
It's the look.
Were you the?
I hang them in the shower.
I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely are the go to the hotel, turn on the shower, hang your thing,
Close
and
the
leave.
doors, put a towel on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang 'em
Don't
in the
worry
shower.
about water conservation, everybody. We're steaming our shirts here. You're not the only one that did that. One of our old coaches when I was in the minors used to do that, and I used to laugh at. He'd leave it for hours.
You know how many of them shirts still fell, and I didn't know it.
Oh, no.
Fell off the hook. Oh yeah.
And be in the tub.
Oh yeah, it was in the tub.
Oh
wet.
no.
Yeah, I've had
Goodness gracious. Let's see. All right. Anything else? Ardell writes, well, I'm not trying to do all of Ardell's comments, but he said this interestingly. Is Seth Jones's contract the worst in the league? Is Darnell Nurse number 2?
You know what? Seth being a local boy, and I had Seth when he was 17 years old or something like that. He's a good kid. You know what? Don't blame the player for signing the contracts. You know, what are you supposed to do? Say, nah, that's too much. I just think that he's not in a good situation just, from where the team is and what they're trying to rebuild and everything there. But I don't know if Seth was ever going to be that Miro Haskin and Makar kind of guy. He's a big guy. He's hard to defend against, and that's what his MO was. And, he moves the puck well, but don't expect him to be a 40 or 50-point guy.
Jason writes in, tonight's 50-50 raffle for the Stars benefited the UHL, which was the United Heroes League. Wished Ludge sported his jersey like on Saturday, and John came to your aid.
Sevy had it on tonight.
He did.
Yeah.
And John came to your defense and said, we finally got our shirts. He has to break it in. And that's a sharp DLS shirt.
And I wore this.
Look at that. That looks nice.
I wore the DLS.
And it's soft too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Oh, they're awesome. But the jersey thing, you can turn them inside out, right? I mean, so
they're reversible.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Thank you.
They're reversible. And so I've already reversed it once. So I'm thinking we've already seen it. So I didn't want to wear it too soon.
Yeah. And honestly, you did it in the build-up.
And it's hanging in the shower right now, getting the wrinkles out. Should be done by the time I get home.
The water's been running since,
it's been running.
Since 5 p.m.
It looks, oh, God. GM Ben is in the chat.
Is he?
Yeah, let's start with we are at 10,038 subscribers, and we are staying live tonight until we hit 11,000. Spread the word, DLLS
Wait,
fans.
what?
Yeah, that's what I thought your reaction would be.
Okay, John, can you go get some ice in a cup?
So, and then you say this, and then his next comment was, Lud's got to do a shot every 100 new subscribers.
Well, I can do that.
For another 1,000, so that's, well, I guess that'd be 10 shots. Piece of cake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Ben. I thought you had a challenge for him.
We'd have to be getting 1,000 subscribers every 5
What a great
minutes
place
for that
to work.
Potentially be an issue.
Hey, this is an awesome place to work where your general manager is encouraging you
to drink
you
the sponsor's
tip over.
product.
Luddy's barefoot mixing drinks the entire game.
Yeah.
Slurring his speech during the social videos we're making in the intermission.
Ricky Spanish with 2 eyes said, Holy Otter saved this game with some big saves.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then other people saying Otter deserves. He was the 3rd star tonight. Mike Heika was the 3 stars selector. So they like that a lot. Let's see.
You're not finding anything
No, Lud's never left the lodge before 2 a.m. on a game day. That's GM Ben.
Well, are we to what time? 2 p.m.? Like, I went there for lunch.
It says Lud's never left the lodge before 2 a.m. on a game day. There it is. It's on the screen.
Ben, how?
Hold on. He's got another one because then, or not he does. John writes in, not our producer, John. Did Lud's frequent the clubhouse?
Duh.
And then Ben wrote, who didn't?
Yeah, thank you.
So he went to your defense on that
Is
one.
that a gentleman's club?
And then John wrote,
Okay.
you aren't wrong there. Play Pantera, right?
Yeah.
That was
What was really nice about that is, well, everything was really nice about that. But, it was one of them BYOB thing. So, you had to pay a cover. Apparently, you had to pay a cover when you get in. But upstairs, all the people that go there, and if they bring their bottles of booze or their beer, whatever, and they don't drink it, they typically don't take it home with them. So there's a room upstairs. I mean, it's like
Just
a whole nother.
full of
Oh,
stuff.
Jesus! Pick your poison.
So you never had to bring it because there was an endless supply from everybody else.
And then when it was over, you had to go to Vinny's. So we had to go there and have breakfast. So, yeah.
Let's see. Burned Oil said, "Ah ha ha ha" at Ludz's reaction about the shots. And we're talking about the Herman Marshall, not the shots on goal.
Yeah. Was that a bad reaction? Or?
No, she thought it was hilarious. I think it's a she.
Burned Oils?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be he. I don't know. I don't know why.
Dox yourself, Burned Oils.
No, don't have to. But that's
Have we
okay.
hit 100 yet?
We've lost followers, subscribers. since
Oh, they're
we started
dropping?
this. Yep.
They're dropping like flies.
Mavs last night cleared 10,000. I unsubscribed to bring it back down so that KG
You were
would have
playing
to
a
stay
bit,
on the
right?
air. And then 2 other people also unsubscribed.
Oh, no.
But then obviously we all resubscribed eventually. I felt bad for Kevin's family. They were waiting for him to come home.
I'll just do it at 10 subscribers.
You just take a swig of that?
Yeah, of course you did. All right. Well, you know what? Now is the perfect time since we're gonna have Sam on in our next
I don't have a
segment.
read, do I?
No,
Oh.
I do. But
Oh.
you have to come up with an answer. He's got his chaser right now. This is time for the Herman Marshall marquee moment of the game. Pick up your favorite bottle at your closest goody liquor store. Luds, after imbibing some Herman Marshall straight from the source, who's your Herman Marshall marquee moment? Now, it could be moment or you've been doing player, which is fine. What do you got?
Oh, see, I think the moment was when Sam Steele scored. How's that?
I like that.
I picked a player, but
That's both, isn't it?
And I think the moment is when probably this morning, or no, I guess it was yesterday when he found out he was going to be playing on that line. That was a moment for him.
Yeah.
And I think what Sam did is he went up there, and you know what he didn't do? He didn't change his game. He played like he was a fourth line guy, and he went to the front of the net. He got rewarded tonight by getting pucks to the net, and so I loved him. And because again, now as a coach, we have another guy if somebody's not playing right up there.
Well, that was watching him do this. I had him for 5 scoring chances. He had a goal and assist.
Yeah.
I thought he could have had a couple more where
Plus
he
2.
actually deferred a little bit. If Marchment can come back, and Pete did say it wasn't very serious and that Marchment skated today.
He's not taking Marchment's place. If
No.
If
If Marchment comes back, you're still looking for somebody to play with Robertson and Hintz. Now, it's on his off wing, that right wing. He's a left shot, but so's Dodonov. Would you consider putting Steele with those two?
I don't know on your offside though.
Dodonov does it, but I know that
Dodonov, but
he likes
he's
that.
used. Yeah,
Yes.
he's used to that. I don't know if you can. I don't know.
Three lefties on a line, and I know Pete doesn't typically like that because he likes to have righty lefty for faceoffs.
Mhm.
But without Joe Pavelski up there,
Mhm.
and unless they play either Stankoven or Johnston there,
Yeah.
they have not been able to do that.
I just
We have
think
too many bells for one Pavelski. I got you good.
You know, like when you mentioned Wyatt, we talked about Wyatt before, and Pete talked about him in the presser the other day, or I guess it was yesterday. I don't know if it helps Wyatt by going, different line mates and from the middle to the wing. I think he just needs to settle in that spot in the middle. That's what I think, and or on the wing if that's where you want to keep him. But I think he's going to get on track for sure. And tonight he was more noticeable than he has been in a couple games, and I think he only got a couple shots on net, but he attempted more. And he attempted more like we talked in the pregame show. He wasn't doing the dangling, getting down low. He was, I think that he's got a wicked release, and he still didn't use that little pull it in like Bedard kind of thing tonight. But when he gets back to that, I think then, again, you're still looking for that guy on that top line. If that's I don't even know what we call the top line anymore, to be honest with you. I think you almost got to say Duchesne.
I think it is. It's the top performing line. The problem is that they can't stay all three of them can't stay healthy. That's not always their fault, right? The way Marchment plays, he tweaks something in that scrap with Nate Schmidt in Finland.
Yep.
Finland. Oh, see, he was doing something else.
Actually, I don't know how to explain this. Logan Stankoven's aunt. I don't know if she listens to our show, but
I hope she does.
She has interacted with us on Twitter. Is what I was just investigating.
Logan's aunt is on?
No, she just liked a tweet.
Oh, nice. Well, the Stankoven clan, I met them last year.
A shot for Logan's mom.
Why
Or
not?
is that
Well, there
aunt?
you go. That's number 2.
The aunt or aunt?
I would say both. You can go either way on that.
I go aunt.
What?
Aunt. You can say aunt or aunt. Depends
Oh,
on
I
how
know.
you
You
feel.
just said go either way. I don't know.
Well, yeah, see, but I thought you didn't think that way.
I apparently do after a couple shots of Herman
it's
Marshall. I
Herman
do.
Marshall. All right. I was going to stop with the chat because we need to get to Sam.
Hit
but
that outro for
Oh,
me,
is
Owen.
Sam still here?
no, he's not here yet. He will be soon. But I was laughing because there were a couple of follow-ups of our clubhouse conversation. John said apparently you had to pay cover. Ha, ha, ha. Adam said, this is the content I'm here for. Will Luds reopen the clubhouse for the sake of Dallas? That was John. Not this John. And then Ben wrote in 10,039. Thanks for the subscription. And I think that was the last comment about the clubhouse. So, boy, they're still going. All right. Hey, really good stuff in the chat. We always appreciate the interactions. Keep doing it. Tell your friends.
Do a Q&A.
Yeah.
We'll have to find a little place to do the
Get a
damn
live Q&A?
Discord show or whatever it's called, and we'll do a Q&A.
I love it.
Do you want me to pass that along?
Please. Well,
No.
I think we just passed it along to the right guy.
T-shirts first.
Oh,
T-shirts.
T-shirts
We
and
need to
shades.
get the Luddy
T-shirts and shades,
get
please.
him some sunglasses, please.
No, I like to say T-shirt, Ben. Thank you.
It's a nice looking shirt.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that next, and then we'll get to Sam. And speaking of this beautiful T-shirt to my right being modeled by our very own Craig Ludwig, you too can get one just like that for free by signing up to be a DLS diehard. Now, you can just go to the merchandise shop and order shirts, or you can sign up for a diehard and get the access to everything we do. Podcasts and live shows for every team, every day, post-game shows. As we were talking about earlier, the Mavs post-game last night went for an extra hour and stayed on the air until we, as a DLS YouTube channel, hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Thanks for everybody that have subscribed so far. Tell your friends, because I bumped into people today going to the AAC that said, what are you doing? You're not doing the ticket post-game show anymore. I said, well, we're DLLS. What's DLLS? So clearly, Luds, we have to keep spreading the word.
You want to say who that was? I think you should.
No, I don't, because I'm not trying to name drop celebrities.
Well, Selena won't care.
Okay, well, I was talking to Selena Ray, who's the Stars anthem singer.
And what does her husband do?
And he happens to be the director of the Stars broadcast on Victory Plus.
Vito.
And, you know, a heck of a winger, too.
Oh, please. On the Chickens or whatever? Is he play on your team?
You know, sometimes I'll play with him over on the Sevy Nooner. See, again, you shouldn't have gone to the Herman Marshall because your mind is.
I do. Are you supposed to be reading? Are we on a timer?
We
here?
are. No, we're not on a timer. But
I
we
have
to
a
talk about it.
suggestion. What if there was a little green around the star?
They
The Dallas
actually.
Stars.
So I actually gave GM Ben gave me a shirt to give to Razor for being on our show because we didn't have him when he was here. That is green. The whole shirt is green with then the DLS flag logo. And
So that's not. You don't have a Stars shirt on. Right
You
now,
have
Luds.
the-
That's just a
I
general
know
shirt.
that,
But
I'm
do you
just
have the
saying
picture
it's
of the
a
shirts?
Stars. They're more the Stars show.
This one.
Yeah, that one doesn't show it, but they have team.
That kind of covers everybody.
Yeah, it does. Now the blue in the middle is sort of a little bit of a Mavsy look. The one on the right, the football one, is a Cowboys style. There's the 8-bit Mike Madonna shirt that's a Stars one, but they also have that in all the different team primary colors, and they have a green one of that. Oh, look at that.
We're coming, Sam. Hold on.
Okay,
Hatch
so
and Mariel.
Burned Oils.
Or is that Lundqvist?
What'd you have? 66.
Hatch and Mariel.
It's got to be Lemieux.
Huh?
Yeah, it does.
Well, why
yeah.
couldn't it be Nils Lundqvist? 6'6".
'Cause
If
he's
it was
number
one more 6,
5.
if there was one more 6, it'd be me.
Hey, but Lundqvist is number 5.
Oh, that's right.
So it's got to be
Well,
Hatcher. It
what's-
could have been Yanni Hakanpää.
Wait.
Anyway, Burned Oils race. Oh, and
12
even though you
minus 2.
misgendered me, still love you. Thank you. That's very nice of you. So, yeah, I don't know why. Just took a guess.
Can we say hi to Sam now?
No, we have to tell you that you need to access the diehards at
I think Nils
dls.com.
should change his number to 5.
You get. I'm not reading dope merch. It sounds so terrible coming from me. You have
Dope
great merchandise like this shirt. Plus, you also get access to the members-only Discord, including Luddy's Damn Discord. We do almost every week, depending on our schedule. And you get to hear from this guy with his diehard level content, Sam Nestler. Oh, hi. I was just eating.
Oh, he was eating. He found some candy.
I found it was a Jolly Rancher.
And you see John in a little
something
picture in
while you guys
picture.
were talking over there.
I was waving to Sam, saying hi to my buddy.
Can you see John?
Hi, John.
There he is. He can. All right, Sam. We have just been enjoying our chat. You were trying to throw out non sequitur. I don't even think there was any. It was a non sequitur because it had nothing to do with the conversation. What's going on over
Still don't know
the
what it
AC?
means.
Post game talk after the win for the Stars tonight.
Yeah, lots of talk about what we expected, that they just got to win, right? We knew the expectation tonight was not to play great, not to get a really, very good performance, not to expect to take some strides here. It was really just find your legs and find a way to win the game. And I actually asked Pete, because we've seen a little bit of this comeback in the last few years against teams, especially against lesser teams in this building. And Pete made a great point. I asked because at this point I was like, hey, this can't be this team doing it. And obviously sometimes we get so wrapped up in things just watching the Stars. We don't know if other teams are doing this or all 31 are doing it. And I said, hey, Pete, is it possible to control a game for 60 minutes in today's NHL? And he said, no. He's with the parity and the skill on all these teams. He's like, the gap between teams has never been smaller, and not only between teams, but between teams at the top and at the bottom. And tonight was a great example of that the Hawks credit them once again. This is two times in a row on back-to-backs that they've come into this building against a very good team that had it 2 or 3 days off at least. And they played very well against them, and they gave themselves a chance to win. So a lot of relief and a lot of, all right, let's dump that one. We learned a couple things, and let's move on to a much bigger opponent on Saturday.
So I have two things to point out. One is one of our members in the chat just said, Sam, why don't you have a plain background today? That made me laugh because you're clearly not. And the second is, Luds, we got so distracted during our Herman Marshall marquee moment of the game. You gave it. You took a swig beforehand. I never read the outro. So for every bottle of single barrel bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns and Hoses Foundation of North Texas. For those who went before, stop in to your closest goody liquor store to find your favorite
Let
bottle.
the record show I did say, Owen, read that outro for me.
Did you say it out loud?
I did, yes.
For the record, I did my part right.
You did?
Okay.
I didn't even hear him say that. Or I blocked it out of my memory.
I said it once and you kept going, and I decided I wasn't going to say it again.
Back to Sam.
Back to Sam. All right, Sam, more from post-game.
Yeah, one interesting thing, I don't know if you guys have seen the stat or if you talked about it earlier, but Jamie Benn is credited for going 16 for 16 in the faceoff circle.
I did see that.
I had a doubt about it, and Tyler Seguin immediately argued that when we brought it up in the locker room and said, oh, no, he lost one to Bedard in the third period. I'm going to make sure they get that one written down. So I thought that was really funny. But I did just go back and try to find one that he lost. I didn't see any. But no matter what, 16-0, 16-1, whatever, just a ridiculous performance. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that Jamie Benn is my player of the game or man of the match or whatever you want to call it.
Man of the match.
This was one of his best games of the season and one of the best ones I've seen from him in a while. He looked the old Jamie Benn. He's controlled the puck, had a ton of chances. I think he had six shots on goal. He was a big part in the success of this game, and I just want to give him a lot of credit for that. If it is officially 16 for 16, he's the sixth player in since I think 1997 when they started tracking faceoffs to win 16 plus and lose 0. So just an incredible performance from Jamie Benn. But that's really the vibe, guys. There's really not a lot other than it was great to get the win. Jake was good. That was a key point that Jake didn't have to be fantastic. And let's be honest, this is one of those really tough games for a goalie where it's see no shots for 9 minutes and then you get a 2-on-1 or one of those flurries that Jake had to control where he made 2 or 3 saves in quick succession. So really tough game for him. I heard you guys talking about how big it was. You're exactly right. This was big for him. He needed a confidence boost. He wasn't awful against Florida, and it wasn't all his fault. They didn't help him out a whole lot, but he didn't play up to his level in that game on Friday. And tonight he played very well. He didn't have to make a ton of saves, but he gave himself momentum going into a matchup with another top 3 American goalie that should be a really good one.
Sam, you think that now that Jake got this one out of the way, that he immediately starts thinking about, as you said, American, about the guy at the other end of the rink, even though that guy's not shooting at him on Saturday afternoon, but it's a battle of two of the best goaltenders in the NHL.
Yeah, you're right, and he's quick. He's quick to say exactly what you just said. The goalies that play against each other aren't actually playing against each other. You're kind of the furthest thing from it, but you still are competing, right? You want to be the best goalie. We talked about Stuart Skinner outplaying Jake in that series against Edmonton. It's the difference in the game. So while you're not one-on-one against the other goalie, if you outplay the other goalie, your team has a much better chance to win the game. And Hellebuck is, I think he called him a staple in American hockey. He's been the American goalie for so long. And as soon as you think of, an international tournament or anything where there's going to be a Team USA, Connor Hellebuck's one of the first people to come to mind as a goaltender. And it's going to be really fun to watch not only this matchup with those two, because this is a big game, and it's an afternoon game, so it'll be interesting to see if there's a little bit of a sluggish start. But these are two very similar teams, very deep. I'm shocked with how deep Winnipeg is. I looked at Winnipeg as going downhill this year. I really did. I thought they were going to take a huge step back, and they look even deeper and tougher than they did last season. So it's going to be a huge matchup, especially between the two goalies. And then going forward, this is something we knew we were going to watch out for is Jake one of those top three guys? Does he make that Team USA in February? And through the first month of the season, he's certainly done a good job at putting his name right there in the mix.
So, Sam, since you're our resident bookie, what are you putting the over-under on Saturday?
Over-under on Saturday, 4.
Do you think the line will be that low, though? Do you think that it'll actually be that low?
I think the Stars win 2-1.
No, I'm asking you, do you think the line is going to be set that low?
With two high performing.
I'm just curious. That's really low in this.
Yeah,
and even
maybe
though
4.5.
the guys that are playing. Basically, what we're saying is if it's anything but 4.5, take the under. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
the line, and then it's going to be 8-7.
That's the trap. Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's
course.
why I don't ever get myself in that, because I would fall for one and believe all the trends are going this way, and it won't, and I'll lose all the money I try. So I wouldn't even try it.
Yeah. Hey, I was just gonna say, did you guys talk about Ilya Lyubushkin at all?
A little bit, but please. I
just have been so impressed with him. Pete mentioned it, whatever day that was that we asked about this morning, I think, about how he was one of the main guys that he would say has his consistent game going right now, and he doesn't feel that way for a lot of players. He feels there's a lot of guys that need to get going consistently. But if you look back at Lyubushkin, I've said this throughout the first 12 games, that he just looks solid. I think that's the word that me and Luds were using when we were talking about him as well, is he's not doing anything that you're noticing, right? But he's the perfect example of a player that you don't want to notice, right? Like you don't want to see Lyubushkin and notice him on the ice, because he's probably making a mistake if that's the case, because he's not going to be the one that's going to make that great breakout pass for an incredible breakaway, or make this really nice play with the puck. And he honestly doesn't throw his weight around a whole lot in terms of big, heavy open ice hits or anything like that. So if you're noticing him, it's probably a mistake with the puck, and that's not what you want to see. If you just kind of don't notice him and you look at his stats, he's got 3 blocks, a couple of hits. He played 17 minutes. He played 4 minutes on the penalty kill, or whatever the numbers are. That's where you kind of see what he brings. And I watched him tonight because Pete brought him up, so I really focused on him when he was on the ice. It's just incredible what he does. He's so simple. There was one play, I can't remember if it was Bedard or one of the other Chicago guys, coming down the wall looking for a play, and he had space. He had guys. I think the Stars were even changing, so they were outnumbering him. And Lyubushkin just kind of stayed in front of him, waited till he turned his back, attacked a little bit as he turned his back, waited in the right spot, and eventually he poked the puck away, and the play was completely over. And that's just what you've seen from Lyubushkin. And I think that with what Matt Dumba is, which is basically a giant question mark right now, whether I wrote about this in the 3 thoughts, is if Matt Dumba can come in and be the top pair guy with Miro Heiskanen, he makes it so much easier below him, right? I don't know if we were talking about this on the show or if it was just with me and Robert, but it just jumbles everything up below them when Harley and Heiskanen have to go together, because now all of a sudden you have 3 righties out of the 4 that you have left. If Brendan Smith comes in, you can kind of go righty-lefty. If it's Lundqvist, all of a sudden who goes on their offside? Do you trust them? It just jumbles things so much. So with Dumba being kind of a question mark, it's huge for Lyubushkin, Lindell, these other guys to really be solid. And right now they have been. And Lyubushkin specifically really, really impressed me again tonight.
Yeah, Sam, and I think just going back to Lyubushkin, the couple words that come to my mind are effective and efficient. And
Yep.
he may be effective in a quiet way. And you're right. I go back to Montreal when I first got there, and the paper was Janelle, and it's all French in there, and I couldn't read it obviously at the time. And guys would tell me, just scan for your name. If you don't see your name in the paper, everything's all good. Because usually if it was in there, it wasn't going to be good. I mean, so my whole life has been like that. So, but yeah, and the other thing is, like, I think what happens is when Miro plays with Harley, because Harley definitely leans forward, I think Miro starts to lay off a little bit and says, I got to be that guy. And so when he plays with Dumba or Lyubushkin, whoever that guy will be, we can see more of what we saw from Miro tonight. I had texted you earlier, obviously you didn't, but I just felt there was a mindset from Miro tonight to get pucks to the net, because he had like 12 or 13 attempts, only a couple got through, but you could see that. But he jumps into the play and he goes, and he can get back because he can go, and then he can get back in time. But when he plays with Harley and Harley gets out front, I think it takes a little bit away from Miro that wants to get up. Now, when Thomas is down below the tops of circles, though, he makes things happen too. But you can't have them both down there.
That's what I was just about to say. I don't love the Harley Heiskanen pairing in general, just because of what you just said. It's kind of you can get good and you can get the 10 goals or whatever that Harley scored last year, but you can also get a lot of bad. And that doesn't necessarily mean negative results. It just means you're taking away some of the positives from other guys. And Heiskanen, you're right. You see it 100%. It's just like when Heiskanen was here, when Klingberg was here, you saw him kind of take a step back and not fully embrace what he is. And tonight, when he was playing with Dumba, I saw him jump, not just throw pucks at net. One of the rushes, I don't remember what period it was, he made a really good run. It was before Owen left, so it must have been the second period. He made a great rush all the way up the ice, took a pass on a breakout around his own blue line, and he just used his speed, and he just skated all the way up the left wall, kind of just curled around the net, and then as he's about to curl behind the net, he makes a nice little pass, and I think it was Johnston got a good scoring chance off of it. That's what Miro can create by doing nothing. It's not like he has to come down and make a bunch of moves. He just needs to skate. He skates by everybody, and he goes so fast and so smooth that nobody expects it and plays it correctly, right? And then all of a sudden, Heiskanen's down below the dot, and nobody's jumped him, and nobody's covering the passing lanes, and that's what you can create. And I think you're right. I think he takes a step back. Now with Dumba, I think he also takes a step back because Dumba makes a couple mistakes up ice and goes for hits. So I don't know the answer for Miro Heiskanen. If we did, we probably would have had a Norris Trophy winner by now. But I think that's a really big thing to watch for now and the rest of the season. How they kind of shake all that up with the blue line.
Yeah, you know, all teams have structure, right? Especially in their neutral zone and D zone, and when Miro is bringing the puck up from his zone to the middle of the ice, he breaks down the structure because he can actually get through that, whether they're playing a 1-2-2, whatever system they're playing, he can pull people out of place. And he can do that with his puck handling, but more importantly with his legs. And he's able to, you know, make that little move that keeps the puck away. And then he advances it when he should. So yeah, I see him change. I don't know if I think he is, because I think he's kind of the conscience of the pair, whoever they're playing with or whoever he puts them with. So yeah, it'll be interesting as this moves forward and how Matt Dumba continues to play with him if he's there, because again, we're going to get down the road here. We're going to play some pretty good teams, and you know, he's going to be out there against some top lines.
Are you going with Sam Steele? Is not only
you want to keep talking me out of it, don't you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's it.
I think Sam Steele was awesome, and I would pick Sam Steele as well for my man in the match. Oh, but I have a stat for Logan Stankoven I'd like to share. So an honorable mention to Stank the Tank tonight. Logan Stankoven, 2 stats actually from NHL Stats, recorded his 10th assist. It was in the first period. In his 12th game, the franchise record for fewest games to 10 assists in a season by a Stars/North Stars rookie. Previous mark was 14 games, so he beat it by 2 games. Don Barber, nice. Tim Young, and Danny O'Shea, all with the North Stars. So there's that. And in his 36th career NHL game, he tallied points number 25 and 26. Second fastest player in Stars team history to post 25 career points. Jason Robertson did it in 33 games. Stankoven did it in 36. Tonight, goal and assist, 5 scoring chances. he, unlike a lot of the stars in the third period, kept playing his game.
He always does.
Always.
I said it earlier, Sam. We were talking about Stank, and I said, you know what? With him, if he doesn't score, like there's talk about Wyatt not scoring some goals. Stank is always going to bring something to the table, and he does other things than score goals, and he's going to get his share of goals. But there's other things that come with that game, and I don't think he knows how not to play 110% on every shift. He doesn't. It's not in his DNA.
Yeah, the guy loves hockey. I said to Owen while we were in the second period, I think, and he just makes all of those little plays. We just talked about Lyubushkin making little plays and those smart plays. You don't notice it a whole lot with Stankoven, and that's what I think is so wild that he's leading, the rookie scoring lead. He's got a 2-point lead up on Mishkov now, but even with that, I feel like people look at his stats and they're like, oh, he only has 1 goal. But if you watch his games, so much of the Stars' offense comes from Logan Stankoven. It's crazy to watch if you go back and you're like, oh, that was a really good scoring chance, and you rewind and you watch. So often it's Stankoven winning that puck in the boards battle. I think that it led to the steal goal was a Stankoven win on the wall, and then he just makes those little plays where I was telling Owen, it was just such a weird play of like very easily Stankoven could have just went and changed. His other 2 line mates were changing. Puck was in the Chicago end. One of the defensemen had it. But instead of changing, he just kind of put pressure on the defender and just kind of canceled him out, which made the puck kind of trickle away. And that gave the Stars that 1 to 2 extra seconds for them to make a change. All of a sudden, whoever it was that came on with him made a nice play, poked it around. It came around the boards. The Stars got it on the point, and they had an offensive set from it. And the amount of times that Logan Stankoven does that is just incredible to watch. So anyone that's still hanging around listening to us right now, next game, just when Logan Stankoven's on the ice, just focus on him. It is incredible to watch his speed, his intensity, his pace, and the kid just loves hockey. I took a video yesterday of Wyatt and Logan. It was like 30 minutes after practice. We were already walking out of practice, out of the room after talking to players, and those guys were still out there just diddling around, shooting pucks, smacking pucks out of midair, just loving hockey. And that's what it looks like when you love hockey and you have a motor, as Luds loves to say.
This is Lud's way of saying we've got to wrap it up. He's right.
Yep.
But
Done.
I have something that John saw on Twitter that I have to share. Roger Podacter, great callback to Ace Ventura Pet Detective movie, the Jim Carrey movie.
Great
Bedard
movie.
will have more points this season than Stankoven. If not, I'll come on the show and shave my head. Deal. Nothing against that.
What's to lose there?
No,
There's nothing to lose.
no loss.
So if that happens at the end of the season, send us a tweet. If Bedard has more, we'll say congratulations. You called it. Connor Bedard outscored Logan Stankoven. If not, you got to come on the show and shave your head. Deal.
Which he should, by the way.
Who's this again?
I don't know. It's
Oh.
one of our fans. The Twitter handle is Roger Podacter, which is one of the characters from Ace Ventura. Right? You've seen Pet Detective.
Yeah, I know.
Long time
Two guys
ago.
drive around in a food truck or something
Laces
like that
out.
and shave dogs.
Laces
Dumb
out.
and Dumber.
That's Dumb and Dumber.
Ace Ventura is
that's you and I.
Ace Ventura is when they lose the Miami Dolphins mascot. They kidnaps the dolphin.
Okay.
Right? Anyway. All right. Sam's done. Can you want to display that? Because it was Veterans Appreciation, Military Appreciation Night. That's the camo hat
That's a nice
giveaway.
hat.
Nice looking hat.
That's a great hat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They changed it up this year, gave him a little Arctic camo. So made sure I got one of these babies.
So
I told
you
Mike
guys-
Heika got one. I told him he has to wear it like this.
Will he do it? Not a chance.
He said he won't, but he did say he used to get in trouble playing baseball as a kid because he used to wear his hat backwards, and all the umps would tell him that he had to wear it forward.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't have let. Is that back before you had to wear batting helmets in baseball? You just wear.
I think that was, yeah.
That left.
I think it was the 40s.
All right. We have the Jets on Saturday. It's a 2:00 game. Our pregame show will start at 1:30. Our postgame show-ish around 4:45 Central Time, depending on when the game ends. Don't forget to follow us at DLS_stars and our show at DLS_. I said that backwards. _DLS stars is our show. The one that's the main one is DLS_sports.
Maybe we could do the post-game show at the clubhouse in the parking lot.
Maybe I
there.
need some more Herman Marshall because I'm all over the place. Thank you so much for
Should we
joining
just
us
jump
tonight.
right into our pregame for Saturday? We've been here forever, I feel like.
We're off tomorrow. Sam will be covering practice, though, and so maybe he'll get to the bottom of your question about Miro and his mindset. If not, pregame, 2:00 or 1:30, 2:00 game, Stars and Jets on Saturday. For Craig Ludwig, for Sam Nestler, For John Anderson, I'm Owen Newkirk. Final score, Dallas 3, Chicago 1. So long, everyone.
We all silly like the mayor.